Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and welcome to the Homestead-Miami Speedway. We are here on the NOFSRL channel to qualify for tomorrow night's Visit Florida.com 400 here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway, the third race of the season in the NOFSRL Cup Series season number 10. This is uncharted qualifying here from Homestead. We were here a couple weeks ago to open up the season with the Meliola Smooth Fest and open up the Turkey Hill National Series season. This is the only race running this week on AG Racing, the Cup race here from Homestead. This is a points-paying race here at this Homestead-Miami Speedway with 54 laps of action tomorrow night. And this ride right here won our last race here in the NOFSRL Cup Series last weekend at the Auto Club Speedway with Ashland Boyd driving in. We may have Josh in the booth for the race, and as of the time of us recording all this, the race hasn't gone up yet, so he doesn't know that he's won that yet. I'm going to have to tell him if he's in the booth with us for this race tomorrow night. But either way, it's not Ashland Boyd in this ride this week. It's driven by Christian Vargas, another veteran who's actually run a full season in the Cup Series before, so he knows what he's doing. These are the 8 guys who are attempting to qualify here for Homestead, and they'll also be in the hot seat rides next week at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. John Andrews back again in the 2, Will Parrish in the 21, Bradyn Perez in the 29, Andrew Williams, who won the Turkey Hill National Series race last week at Auto Club in the 32, Marty Johnson back in the 52, he won here in the Turkey Hill National Series a couple weeks ago, Scott Upton in the 55, Ben Crouch in the 76, and of course, like I mentioned, Christian Vargas in the number 80. Right now, John Andrews holds the fastest time here in qualifying. Of course, top 2 fastest guys here in this uncharted qualifying session will go ahead and join the 40 full-time drivers to qualify for the pole and will race in tomorrow night's 54-lap event here from Homestead. Definitely should be a fun one. Vargas back to the top of the board. They're the only 2 drivers who have clocked in time so far here in qualifying. 76 machine Ben Crouch looking to make his first ever Cup Series start. Same goes for Andrew Williams in the 32, Bradyn Perez, Will Parrish, and Scott Upton. None of those guys have ever made a Cup Series start before. They have an opportunity to make their first starts in this series this weekend. Right now, it's 2 guys who have made starts, who actually have gone full-time in the series before. John Andrews to the top of the board. He was actually in last week's Cup race at Auto Club. Didn't have the best of runs, but he was the other uncharted driver in that event alongside Ashland Boyd. There's Marty Johnson, who made his way into the Indianapolis, or should I say the Daytona 500. Hey, the Indy 250 is arguably the bigger race of the 2 on this channel. I will say that. 76, Ben Crouch has gone to the top of the board. Now Will Parrish up to second. Only 4 guys have completed a time so far. There's Scott Upton. These times, I think, get a little bit faster as we go along through the session right here, and we're seeing that come into play right now. But number 21, Will Parrish, just went to the 2nd overall position. Hamill Racing Enterprises. This number 80 for Trinity River Racing. Of course, Josh Williamson coming into this race, the owner's points leader. The number 80 has yet to fail to qualify for a race. It's been in both races so far. Mitchell Collins ran it in through the duel for the Daytona 500, and of course Ashland Boyd not only got it in through uncharted qualifying, but ended up winning the Cup race in that machine. And therefore, Trinity River Racing, a technical single-car operation, even though they do have the uncharted ride, they are leading in the owner's points after 2 races. Marty Johnson just went to the top of the board in the 52. And let's put it this way, if last week is any determining factor, these uncharted drivers are going to be a threat to win throughout this entire season, because there are a lot of strong guys in the Turkey Hill National Series this year, like Ashland Boyd, and it was no surprise to really see Ashland Boyd go out there and win a race in the Cup Series. And it's looking like we could end up with Marty Johnson and John Andrews making it on, and both of these guys have won races in this series before, and they are still the 2 fastest guys here. A new scheme right there for Bartow Tuck Team Velocistar in this 52 machine. Matt was not happy with the shade of green he put on it, so now we got a black and silver. It looks pretty sporty. John Andrews has got bumped off again there by Ben Crouch in the 76, so that 2 machine on the verge of missing, but he is drafting here with Marty Johnson. We'll have to see if he can advance his time in these last few seconds. Ben Crouch is there. Second fastest right now, looking to advance on for NS Blackout Motorsports. This team has yet to get their uncharted ride in a race yet, but if things can hold up, Ben Crouch is going to be racing. Marty Johnson just improved his time right there in the number 52 machine. I believe he's getting a bit of a tow off of Scott Upton ahead of him. How about this? If Marty makes it in, this will be a second Cup race of the season. And obviously, with what we saw last week, Marty could very well go to victory lane. He won here in the Turkey Hill National Series, so I'd watch out for Marty. You can have a shot at possibly going to victory lane tomorrow night in the Cup race here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Doesn't look like there's going to be any advancement in time through anyone else. That should do it right there. Marty Johnson, and for the first time in his career, Ben Crouch, going to be running in tomorrow night's VisitFlorida.com 400. They will join the other 40 full-time drivers here in the NOFSRL Cup Series to set the starting lineup for tomorrow night's race. Marty Johnson, Ben Crouch advance on through uncharted qualifying. Let's go ahead and see who wins the pole here from Homestead. And here we go, ready to set the starting lineup for tomorrow night's VisitFlorida.com 400 here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Opening up the season with more night races than day races. Our third race of the season, our second Friday night event coming tomorrow night. It should be a good one, though, as we saw the Meliola Smoothfest Turkey Hill National Series race here. They were some pretty intense events, and would imagine we're going to be seeing a lot more of that here for the points-paying race in the NOFSRL Cup Series. Not only that, I haven't talked about it too much, the finale is going to be here at Homestead in November. Going to be a while from now when we come back here to Homestead. Finally, the last race of Homestead, in the NOFSRL Cup Series all the way until November, so we'll be away from this place for a while. Did a lot of stuff to open up the season here, and I got a little tired of the track, but we got one more race to do. We'll get there. But, finale coming up in November right here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. That's going to be a 67-lap race, so Body Armor Championship 500 coming up to crown a champion in November. But either way, third race of the season for these guys, and the season's opened up very interestingly. Of course, our last winner here in this series, not in this event, because Ashlyn Boyd didn't have a good run in the Turkey Hill National Series race at Auto Club. He did not receive the hot seat for this race, so therefore, so far, the only winner who's still in the field is Zachary Fitzwater, who won the Daytona 500. Of course, I know some of those full-time guys, they don't like those uncharted guys going in there and winning their races, but hey, that's the name of the game sometimes. And Ashlyn Boyd rightfully won that race last week at the Auto Club Speedway in the Napa 400. This should be an interesting race, though, because obviously with what we saw throughout the beginning of Speed Weeks, at the Homestead-Miami Speedway, these guys were all over the place, and it's going to turn out to be a much different race than what we had here last year for the NOFSRL Cup Series, no doubt about it. 81, Ace Garcia, fastest now Cody Sill to the top of the board in the 37 machine, and right now the points are all over the place. I think it's way, way, way too early to really make a determination on who's good, but Sebastian Kukulon, Nelson Reeves are tied for the points lead coming into this event. There goes Nicholas Samadillo. That's a home race for him. He just went to the top of the board. Ace Garcia took it back from him, that 81. Looking rather stout right there for Hamlin Racing Enterprises. So you got Ace Garcia, Nicholas Samadillo. Nelson Reeves has had a really strong season so far. I know we're still early on in the season, but that 05 team, they have excelled this season, no doubt about it. They found their driver, I think, in that 05 machine for Kinghart Family Racing, and they have definitely improved their whole outlook on this season compared to last year. Gatlin Downey hasn't had as good of a run this season. Struggled, actually wrecked out at Auto Club last weekend. Had that tire issue and ended up going a couple laps down, but Nelson Reeves has carried this team as a rookie driver, and he dominated that Daytona 500 as well. If you guys remember that, he almost should have won that race, arguably could have won that race against Zachary Fitzwater, but unfortunately did not have enough on him to beat him. It was, how about the NS Blackout guys? It was Nathan Stapleton who went to the top of the board, and then Jarlarvin Alonso went to the top of the board, and then their uncharted guy went to the top of the board, but then Otter Island's coming in saying, no, we're going to take those top positions. Turner went to the top of the board, then Dalio went to the top of the board, and then North State Racing was like, here, have a sip of my Diet Cheerwine. Nathan Smith now to the top of the board in the 67 with Matt Dalio, Jesse Turner, Nathan Stapleton, Keegan Thompson, Logan Williams, Trey Smith. And a lot of guys moved up in there. Ethan Lewis now into the 6th position. Gatlin Downey is 8th. Logan Williams is now 9th. And then you have the 38 machine there of Logan Williams in 10th. Tristan Allen just moved up to 3rd in the number 95. And Ben Crouch in the 76 is 2nd fastest. Telling you, these uncharted guys so far this season, they've had a lot of strength, especially last week with Ashland Boyd, but this 76 looking really strong. It's going to be Ben Crouch's first career NOFSRL Cup Series start. Patrick Smith the 5th, Sam Adoskim the 6th. Couple of fast guys right there. And Tristan Allen just went to the top of the board. Matt Delio, 2nd quickest. Lots of changes going on up top, but it's Tristan Allen leading here in qualifying halfway through the session. For qualifying in the VisitFlorida.com 400. Matt Dalio there in 2nd. Nathan Smith is 3rd. Then the 76 of Ben Crouch. The 11 of Ethan Lewis. 16 of Patrick Smith. 71. Sam Adoskin, Logan Williams, Jesse Turner. And it was Nathan Stapleton. Now the 82 of Keegan Thompson has gone to 3rd quickest in the Trinity River Racing machine. Thompson has had a great season so far. Currently 4th in points. And that team is leading in the owners. Of course, they won last week with their uncharted driver in Ashland Boyd. But now they are currently the 3rd fastest guy here in qualifying from Homestead. And Keegan Thompson knows his way around this place at this point, I feel like. He was fastest. This team was fastest in preseason Thunder testing right here from Homestead. So I definitely watch out for these guys. They could have a very strong chance at possibly winning the race tomorrow night. I think all these guys starting in top 10 are going to have a good shot. How about Mason Brown there now in 8th? Another guy who's peeked his way inside the top 10 right there. Dalio is still 2nd fastest. Matt Dalio's won here before at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Won this race, or won here at Homestead. Not this race in particular. This race is only the 2nd year, technically, of this race, the 400-miler. But when he did win it, I think it was still I think it might have been a 500-miler back then, but we still did 20%, or no. We still did 15% length back in those days, so either way, Matt Dalio has won here at Homestead before, and that came in the Season 4 finale when he won his NOFSRL Cup Series Championship. It looks like the times have leveled out. Tristan Allen, Matt Dalio, Keegan Thompson, Logan Williams, Nathan Smith, Ben Crouch in that ride this week. Stephen Cullen was in that during Speed Weeks, but not anymore. Ethan Lewis, Mason Brown, Patrick Smith, Sam Adoskim, then Jesse Turner, Sebastian Kukulon, our co-points leader, Nathan Stapleton, Gatlin Downey, Jordan Lopez, Shane Lake, Ben Young, Trey Smith, Hergelar Alonzo, Cody Sill, Nathan Baird, Andrew Miller, Brad Stover, Eli Bright, Joe Rutkowski, Alexander Rowe, Thomas Troxel, Brandon Nelson, Daniel McMillan, Marty Johnson, Ace Garcia, Owen Miles, Fisher G, Zachary Fitzwater, Christopher Alphaby, LJ Semedo, Cameron Garlington, Nicholas Samadillo, Ryan Durrani, the 12 machine of Brett Sierra, Nelson Reeves, and the only driver who's yet to crack the top 41, crack under 30 seconds, I should say. That's Brock Nelson there in the 42nd position. No change in the top 10. Tristan Allen looking to start on the pole for the VisitFlorida.com 400 here at Homestead. It's going to be a wild race, let's just put it that way. We didn't change anything from the Speed Weeks, from when we had the Smooth Fest here, I should say. It's going to be essentially the same track, so they're going to be tapping that outside wall a bit. We may bring it down to 105 for the race. We had it at 106 for the Smooth Fest. We may actually tap it down a little bit because we've seen a little bit of that here in this session, so we want to make sure that we can avoid that the best we can. It could go caution-free tomorrow night. It is possible, but I don't think that's going to happen. Tristan Allen looking to get their first win of the season. Actually, as a matter of fact, the only manufacturer that's won a race this season is Toyota. And like I mentioned last week, they had the lowest number of cars in the series. You only have the 3 Otter Island cars, the 3 Graham cars, and the 2 Trinity River cars. Of course, one of their cars is not in this race this weekend as the 80 failed to qualify. But that 80 was in victory lane last week And, of course, the Bradyn car, Zachary Fitzwater, went to victory lane in the Daytona 500. They only have 7 full-time entries in the NOFSRL Cup Series, fewer than any other manufacturer, but so far they're the only manufacturer who has gone to victory lane in a points-paying race so far this season. And the one team that has Toyota that hasn't gone to victory lane is my own team. But hey, at least you know it's not rigged. There's Jesse Turner, first ever winner on Epfan. He's also won. Actually, no, I am wrong about that. He has never won before here at Homestead. Won the championship back in Season 2, but he did not win the race. I think he finished 10th in that event. But Turner definitely would love to see him back in victory lane. He's only won 6 times in this series compared to Zachary Fitzwater, who's won 11 times. Turner, as much as we praise him, he's had a lot of long losing streaks in this series in the past, so let's see what he can do with that. Nicholas Amadeo just moved up into the top 10. Great run there out of Mr. Edge, and like I said, this is a home race from South Florida. Amadeo's never won here at Homestead before. I'm sure he'd love to go to victory lane at this racetrack. And a good opportunity for him there in ZL Motorsports, starting in the 8th position tomorrow night, given that things hold up the way they are right now. But it's looking like Tristan Allen's going to win the pole here in this number 95 machine for Father Fruit Motorsports. They brought a fast hot rod here to Homestead-Miami Speedway, and it's looking like they could possibly have a shot at tomorrow's race victory. And looks like the time's going to run out right now. Nope, 30 more seconds on the clock. 30 more smackaroons around this Homestead-Miami Speedway. We'll have to see how it goes down for the rest of the session. I don't see any change there in the top 10. Looks like it's going to be Allen, Dalio, Thompson, Williams, Nathan Smith, Crouch, Lewis, Samadeo, Patrick Smith, and Mason Brown. The top 10 starting positions for tomorrow night. Visit Florida.com. 400 here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Tristan Allen has won the pole for the 3rd race of the season. He'll start alongside Matt Dalio to lead us to green flag in tomorrow night's event. Take a look at the rest of the results right there. Going to be interesting to see who gets this race victory. Unlike Auto Club Speedway, I feel like a guy from the back could win this one. Even though, like we saw a few weeks ago, passing's a little difficult here, especially, once you get him to a rhythm, those guys start to spread out. It gets a little difficult to make a run for the race lead. So, gonna be interesting to see how it all plays out. We got a few ties. We got to break these ties. Shane Lake and Ben Young are tied for the 18th position. Let me see here. Where is Shane Lake? Shane Lake's in 31st. Ben Young's 29th. They are actually tied. No, they're not. Ben Young does have one more point than Shane Lake, so Ben Young will start ahead of Shane Lake there. Then we have ourselves Nathan Stapleton and Gatlin Downey, who are tied. Stapleton is 34th, Downey is 35th, and it looks like Stapleton's got one more point than Downey, so Stapleton will have the advantage on Downey. And then the other tie that we have here is Ryan Durrani and Fisher G. Ryan Durrani is in 26th in points, Fisher G 19th, so Fisher G will have the advantage on Durrani for that position. Other than that, that is how they will line up for tomorrow's Visit Florida.com 400 here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. The only race of the weekend here on AG Racing, but that'll be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on AG Racing. A little bit earlier this weekend than it was last weekend. Hey, that truck race at Daytona, I forgot about it, all right? Let's just put it that way. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Tristan Allen for winning the pole here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Visit Florida.com 400 here from Homestead in the NOFSRL Cup Series Season number 10. I will see you guys later.